Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
You know, it's Lent, and we were reminded recently that it's been a little while since we did something on, you know, how to eat on Friday and what kind of foods are good.
Now, of course, the standard answer is, well, you're Catholic. You're going to go to the fish fry.
And you should.
But not everyone can go to the fish fry this year. Not every place is having a fish fry. And there are some people, God love them, who just do not like fish.
That's fair.
And so, one great alternative is pizza.
Yep. Preferably cheese pizza.
I mean, I could put veggies on, but, you know,
No,
then we'd all have to agree on what veggies.
No.
Everybody loves green peppers.
No, I'm sorry.
I hate green peppers.
I'm sorry.
What is wrong with you?
I'm going to have to put my foot down here.
This is why no vegetables.
As the Pope of this domestic church.
I don't think any of the things stated that.
You're right. I'm not the Pope.
Certainly the bishop.
As the bishop of this domestic church, I need to put my foot down.
I don't think either one of those words translate as head.
I'm not under his authority.
Yeah.
Currently, you are in my seat, sir.
Are we doing it like your parents growing up? You're under my roof.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. I'm under your roof and I'm eating your food.
Exactly.
I'm going to follow his rules.
I'm going to put my foot down and say veggies on a pizza that contains no meat. It smacks of something wrong to me.
But you're okay with tomato sauce?
Yes. It has been... well, technically, that's fruit.
That's the proper response. That's the proper response.
All right. So anyway...
He said nothing about fruits.
In our one where we tried different fish sandwiches, we did local/regional chains. So we're doing pizza. And as far as I can tell, every single pizza chain that is in Michigan, excluding possibly that made-up one that Chuck E. Cheese did for the COVID shutdown, was founded somewhere in Michigan.
We're a proud state.
I had a large choice. However, I did not get the original, deep dish Detroit style because I had to drive an hour to get that.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just unreasonable.
Yeah. So, our first one is Cottage Inn.
An Ann Arbor original.
Yeah.
Yes. And for all these pizzas, I got essentially either base cheese pizza or base cheese pizza with other cheeses or flavored toppings, depending on what, coupons and discounts there were. If a cheese pizza costs the same as a cheese pizza with 2 toppings, so they have 2 cheeses.
Right, so since there's 4 of them, I suggest we rate on a scale of 1 to 4 kind of a thing.
That seems reasonable. 1 being the best, 4 being the worst?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now this one is just cheese, because they were the more pricey of them all.
Again, it's from Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
We had one nearby a hotel I worked at for a while, so when I would have pizza in the middle of the night, I was having Cottage Inn pizza.
I missed that, because A, back then I could eat pizza, and B, they had a program where if you told the hotel guests to go and, hey, this is the local pizza, if they ask, they got points, and after so many points, they got a free pizza. And it could be the specialty one, so.
Yep.
All right. So, you don't need to eat the entire slice of pizza. I did take some large ones and cut it in half, except for the Detroit style, because the edges...
Well, you've got to balance a couple things out. You don't want to fill up on pizza, but you have to have more than one bite to really get a sense of what the pie is like.
Yeah.
All right, so Cottage Inn in the books. Next we have...
Do you have any notes or anything on Cottage Inn?
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next we have Domino's pizza, which I believe has cheddar and like an Asiago blend on top.
Ooh.
And
I will take this. I will take the larger piece.
When picking places, Nate said I don't need to do Domino's because in Michigan, Domino's is what you eat at like 1 a.m. when you're hanging out with your friends in college and you're all hungry and you have like $6 between all of you.
And you spent the rest of it on beer.
Or arcade games or something else.
Or beer.
However, I included it because anyone who's from the area has probably heard of Domino's and the people who run it. Because on their farm, as they call it, although there actually is farm, is where, one of the big Catholic radio stations is.
Don't mind me.
Well,
He's just throwing it to the ground, which is how you eat Domino's.
Plus, at the southern end of Domino's Farms is the very famous, charismatic parish Christ the King. Not to be confused with Flint's historically black parish, Christ the King.
Yes, it is kind of confusing that we have 2 super important parishes with the same name in the same diocese.
How many St. Mary's do we have? The answer is all of them.
All right. So, any tasting notes on that besides the fact that they have improved their quality from when we were in college?
Well, first of all, that's a low bar. Domino's.
They have.
Domino's is absolutely better than it used to be. But again, that's low hanging fruit.
In fairness, what it used to be was barely above elementary school cafeteria pizza.
Now, make no mistake. When I was a kid, I loved me some cafeteria pizza. I love pizza day. I'm going to say the dominant note of the Domino's was not the cheese, but the tomato sauce.
Yes, no, I would agree with that. The sauce really held its own. It was. Yeah, it was well seasoned. It had a lot of flavor to it. It wasn't just red sauce smeared on dough.
But at the same time, this is a cheese pizza, and the cheese didn't stand out that much.
No.
But we'll rank when we get to the end.
All right.
Yeah. So what's next?
Our third choice is Hungry Howies, and this one has feta on it, along with a garlic cheese crust, because they are known for having flavored crust. You don't not order a flavored crust.
What? You don't order from Hungry Howie's if you're not going to get the flavored crust. Plus, I love feta.
Yes, that is why one is feta, because...
I especially enjoy saying feta cheese, please.
It does rhyme.
I am not as huge a fan of feta, but it goes very well on this pizza.
That's why I picked it for the one that had, the flavorings and stuff on it. As a few of them had the option, and I'm like, you're not going to get like feta and cheddar. It's one or the other. So
Sure.
This is riveting television.
But I would say that the feta adds to the pizza what the Domino's cheese was lacking.
You can definitely taste the cheese on the Hungry Howie's.
Exactly.
Well, on the one hand, I want to agree with you. On the other hand, food channels are enormous, and people spend a lot of time just eating the food. I don't understand it, but people love it.
When I had a van full of different pizzas, and if anyone said anything, I'd be like, YouTube channel, and they'd be like, ooh, because everyone knows you rate stuff on YouTube channels.
Well,
All
right. That is what we're doing right now.
Yep.
So finally, we have the Jets.
Let's get Jets.
And this is a deep dish, and it has They're what they call
Parmesan, and it's like a 3-cheese kind of a blend.
Ooh.
It has cheddar, and then that is their turbo seasoning. That because it doesn't really have crust, it just gets kind of all over.
Gotcha.
I love the way people just use the word turbo as if it doesn't mean anything. This is our turbo seasoning.
Basically, they took their 2 other seasonings that they had and they put them together because people kept ordering both.
Yeah.
So it was like the butter cheese and garlic.
But essentially, this is a default option. Let's just make it a default option. Yeah. No,
yes.
Totally makes sense.
Now, I will say, I am a bit of a sucker for the Detroit-style pizza. I like the thicker, more tender crust.
Yes. There is a competition between Detroit and Chicago, if you're not from the area, about who made the deep dish and who made it better.
The answer is Detroit.
Of course.
The problem with the Chicago pizza, I love a Chicago-style pizza.
You need like an archaeological dig to get down. It's like this thick of toppings.
It's essentially lasagna.
Like, I like the idea because, as I can't have the bread, I will occasionally take a pie pan and just put everything you put on the bread in it. And that's essentially a deep dish without the bread.
Now,
but I don't want to go to a pizzeria and wait an hour and a half for my pizza to cook because New York takes like 2 minutes. Chicago takes an hour and a half.
Well, and that's the thing. Those are the 2 extremes. You've got your New York, where it's paper thin, but it's 6 feet wide. And you have to roll it up like a newspaper before you can eat it.
I think you fold it in half.
Yes, you do. And you get grease everywhere. And then the Chicago, where
you cannot eat that with your hands.
I'm a big fat guy, but that's just too much. I eat 1 piece of Chicago and I'm done. Plus, I feel like I've worked. Whereas what I want from pizza is just mindlessly,
Yes. And this one happens to have the sauce and then the toppings, as it can go either way.
Well,
Detroit's not as strict about it as Chicago is.
As a Be-Whisker gentleman, I'm a big fan of containing the tomato sauce, or just sometimes the anonymous red sauce, underneath the cheese. Because if I eat sauce on top style Detroit pizza, I make a mess of myself.
Well, then you have to get the Parmesan, and you put so much on that's just an additional layer.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Basically, you make
I
your own
don't
crust.
dislike, but...
Well.
Alright. Any tasting notes from that one?
But once again, like I said, I love the deep dish crust. I like it's got the crusty bits, the crunchy bits on the outside edge. It's got in the middle. It's not really chewy per se, but it's like more tender and
Not in any way disagreeing with you. I chalk that up almost as a criticism. This is dominated by the crust.
Yes.
And the cheese topping is almost an afterthought.
Well, because if you want equal parts cheese, then you get the Chicago that you got to dig in.
I understand.
All right.
But yes, so I think if I were going to rate it,
So, go ahead.
I'd really want to put Hungry Howie's up at the top.
Okay.
I've always been a fan of the seasoned crust. We had a friend in college. We would get together for Sunday dinners, and one of his favorite things was to have the Hungry Howie's guy just take whatever it was that they were putting on the crust and just sprinkle it all over.
Cajun is so bad when you just coat everything in Cajun.
It did not work.
Heavy Cajun. He's like, just pour on the bottle Cajun.
Father Brad will love it.
It did not work. It did not work
so
on
you
that.
probably argue it's not really all that Cajun, it's
Sure,
just a free-made powder mix.
It was mostly cayenne pepper and a few other things.
Yes,
but,
and I will say the Hungry Howie's and the Domino's for the price were equal because they both have deals where if you buy 2 or more of select items, it's $5.99 each.
Nice.
I've got
The Jets has that for $6.99.
Yeah, I as much as I love Cottage Inn, it holds a special place in my heart.
This can't be sentimental.
I feel that with regards to just the plain cheese pizza, it kind of fell a little flat.
Okay, so you got Hungry Howie 1,
Hungry Howie 1,
Cottage Inn 4.
I'm gonna put Cottage Inn at 4.
What's your 2, 3?
I'm gonna go with Jets 2 and Domino's 3. They neither one was really strong in the cheese game, but I just really like the Jets crust better than Domino's sauce. It's really what it comes down to. It's the Domino's sauce versus the Jets crust for me.
Sure.
So Hungry Howie's 1, Jets 2, Domino's 3, and Cottage Inn 4.
Which I will say, I've never seen anyone who went to Cottage Inn because they wanted a cheese pizza.
Usually they've got some really fantastic
things. They have amazing
like buffalo
combinations
chicken
of ones,
they're gourmet pizzas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in a slightly different direction.
Okay.
I agree with you. Hungry Howie's, number 1. There's an explosion of flavors there. But number 2, I'm going to go with the Cottage Inn.
Okay.
Just a nice basic cheese pizza. Not fancy, not one of their spectacular things, but still a good solid cheese basis.
Okay.
Number 3 is going to be the Jets because that's delicious.
Yeah.
But it's all crust.
That's fair.
And then 4th is going to be the Domino's. Again, I enjoyed the sauce, but I almost couldn't taste the cheese.
Yeah.
So my 4 is number 1, Hungry Howie's, number 2, Cottage Inn, number 3, Jets, and number 4, Domino.
All right. So there you have it. That's our rating of these 4 pizzas.
And, as not eating them, I also like Hungry Howie's best because the box has some of the seasonings and I taste it.
Yes. Yeah, so whenever we get Hungry Howie, she likes to go after the box after the pizza's gone and just...
There's no need to waste it. They sold you all the spices.
Exactly. So if you've got... It's a little tricky for you to recommend other pizzas to us simply because, as we said, we were doing mostly regional ones.
Yeah, we don't know if we have your brand.
We don't know if we have your brand. This is not all of our regional ones. So if you are from the southeastern to mid-Michigan area and you have a pizza that you really like.
They can simply note a pizza company, look it up, see if it was founded in like Detroit or Ann Arbor, and then we probably have one somewhere around.
That's fair.
Deacon, I want to know what pizza you eat.
That would be interesting.
Well, we don't know that, but it might be.
No, I would be interested to know. Therefore, it is interesting.
Touche.
They'll be like, you forgot to put in Little Caesars. I'm like, I know, but ours are the best. I don't want to drive to the next county over to have a fair
We did not forget.
To all those of you who are like, you forgot Little Caesars, we did not forget Little Caesars. We deliberately neglected Little Caesars. We did not forget it.
On this show, we acknowledge Jesus, not Caesar.
Well, my reasoning more is that they charge like $2 over the price of even the fancy places, and then extra if you use a credit card.
Render to Caesar.
Yeah. The I can't speak for all inner cities, but the Flint City Little Caesars places pretty much are all trying to rob you. You know, when we first moved here, we were getting pizzas to help pay people for helping us move in, and we were like, well, we'll just go to Little Caesars. It's right down the road. We'll get some hot and nows for $5.
It's kind of the default choice around.
Or hot and readies for $5, and we got there, and they were $7.
Well, why? Because we're in Flint.
Yeah, because prices may vary by region.
Yes. And although Cottage Inn is founded in Ann Arbor and therefore is totally fancy, the Little Caesars in Ann Arbor will let you pick any one topping for their hot and ready. You don't even have to have just pepperoni for the $5.
Nice.
So feel free to go down below into the comment section and maybe suggest a place you like getting pizza or why you wouldn't eat cheese pizza for a Lenten Friday.
Or, if you're so moved, perhaps just comment a haiku about cheese. Ooh. Everyone loves cheese poetry, and it doesn't look like we're going to bring you the cheese poetry live stream, so you people may have to write your own cheese poetry.
Speaking of which, if you'd like to hear Mike Wilson's cheese poetry live, make sure to go to the video that we are now going to make Jess go and look up and figure out which one it was, up here.
Easier method? If this episode gets 100 likes, he'll recite cheese poetry live.
Absolutely. That is an easier method. I like that.
Absolutely.
So if you would like to see Mike Wilson making cheese poetry
on our first live stream,
on our very first live stream, go down below and hit that like button.
While you're down there, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified the next time a cheesy plot is uploaded.
And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
And share that love.